Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tomb Raider 2. Today we are taking on the Catacombs of the Talion. We have 3 secrets as always, 39 pickups, and this one is a little bit of an unusual one because this is kind of one half of a bigger level. If that makes any sense, you'll probably understand a little bit more once we start picking through the next level. But basically, there are parts of this level that we'll be able to see but not reach. And we'll be reaching those parts in the next level. And we'll be looping back on zones again. Kind of similar to Tomb Raider 1 and the Egypt levels. When we went through like the Catacombs, not the Catacombs, that's this one. The Obelisk of Khamun, and I think it was the City of Khamun. This is a little bit like that, but not quite as loopy. Anyway, do not walk down these stairs. They will kill you. They are instant death. Don't do it. Just drop down the side and come around. And then here, it's very obvious that there is a crack here. And believe it or not, this is our first secret right at the start. And ironically, the way the secrets are spaced out in this level is quite good. We have... Don't worry about that noise. It's actually like to do with if we had gone the right way. With this level, there is a secret at the very start and a secret at the very end. Which is kind of neat, but not really too relevant to getting through the level. But regardless, there is secret number 1. Now... we just need to jump back down onto this slope. Grab it. You'll be able to see a Yeti, I think they are. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, you'll be able to see a Yeti here. Kind of a new introduction as far as enemies go here. But basically just hop back to here. You can take a few pot shots at him. You won't be able to get a huge amount of damage out on him. But weirdly enough, they actually don't take a lot of hits. And we're gonna need to go down there anyway. So let's do that. There you go. See? Not a whole lot of health anyway. They do a fair amount of damage. And they move quite fast. But not too much to worry about. So, straight out here is actually where we're going to be going to next. In order to access that, we need to use this switch. Which you can see is there at the bottom. Open the door at the top. And I think it's a leopard. It could be a cougar. I'm not entirely sure. It's some form of bitey, scratchy feline that we don't like because they'll kill us. Anyway, coming back up here is going to leave us right back where we started, at the other side of the slope. And with a bit of luck, which doesn't always come our way. Okay, sometimes the cougar / leopard comes all the way up to here and just kind of chills out. The fact that it hasn't means we are just going to have to go get him. There we go. Okay, and this has caught me multiple times. When you're fighting this guy, do not try to roll or run down these steps. You will die immediately. There is more of the icicles and they will fall on you and instant death. Make sure you drop down the side. You can also drop down the side to make him run in circles if you need to. I've never found it particularly necessary, but just worth a point that if he gets too close, you can drop down and he goes the long way around. So this is the room that we saw through the bars. And it's a pretty impressive looking specimen, I must say. It's very big, very open. And we're just going to make our way down. And you can see here through those bars there is where we pulled the switch. Now, as soon as we drop onto here, we're going to have some friends. We should be able to deal enough damage to them so that they're not going to cause us any trouble. But they weirdly, they take a lot of bullets. Like, I don't remember enemies taking that much damage earlier in the game before they died. But, look, I suppose they have to make it harder somehow. This game is a little bit notorious for basically just making it more difficult by just throwing a lot of human enemies at you. But it is what it is. If we'd gone further down the steps, we would have gotten that view and see those two guys coming down the steps. But I know where the trigger is. Actually, before we go this way, there's one thing we need to do first. And that is, see those snowballs, rocks, avalanche up there? We need to trigger that first. So once we get far enough, we're just going to jump off sideways into the pool. Now, we can't go up that way. The slope is too steep. But we're going to come to it from the other side. Okay, so with them taken care of, we're going to go this way. This is absolutely not the critical path. There is no reason to come down here. There is just this singular medipack. That's it. But what it does give you is this kind of cool look out at this big area. And this is one of the places that we will not get to in this level, but will get to in the next. And I just think it's nice to have that little bit of kind of foreshadowing. But we will be there next time round. Now, it's rather easy to die here, so I'm going to hit a quick save. And basically what we're going to need to try to do is we're going to need to get to the top of that ladder. Trying to go through the spikes is kind of pointless. It is much easier to go this way. If you kind of put yourself in an impossible situation, if you go to the spikes, start on the ladder and grab it, because as you can see, you can only climb as far as the crumbling platforms there. And once you're on that ladder, if you drop onto those spikes, you are dead. It doesn't matter how high you are. So it's kind of a bit of a mean trap. What you actually need to do is go around this way and grab on here. We'll only need to be up here once, so it doesn't matter too much if you don't break that last tile. And then we're going to want to get to near enough the top. About here is fine, and do a backflip. And then, so the reason we had to trigger that avalanche, those boulders, whatever you want to actually call them, is because they stay right here until you trigger them, which means you can't jump up here, but you also can't get to this switch, which we need to. So you need to trigger them first. And that's kind of another reason why those spikes are there, because it's very difficult to get back down from here, because you can't get up to this tile. So you're kind of stuck here, and going back down is a problem because you could easily just drop into the spikes. It's very easy to get caught there. But anyway, with that done, we are going to jump down here and grab our first Tibetan mask. What was that sound I hear you say? Well, it was the doors at the bottom of that pool, and it's now drained, basically. So that's the way we are going to go. But we're going to do it safely, because we don't want to die. This is a fair little drop here, so even with safety dropping, you are still going to take a little bit of damage. Nothing too major, just a little bit. And it is so devious, but watch out for this spike trap. It's so easy to just run straight into it. The top of the ceiling being low also doesn't help. It kind of messes with your trajectory when you jump as well. But anyway, the Tibetan mask we just got, we're going to almost immediately use to get through this gate. Now, I know you can see all those boulders right there. So we're going to hit a save. These are actually quite simple to get around. All we're going to do is basically go to the very bottom of that slope and climb up on the right. and they're all just going to roll on by. We are also going to have some friends join the party, so we're going to hop up here, and they can't get up here. So we can take them out at our own pace without wasting any ammo, just firing away with pistols. This area here is kind of a central hub, and we're going to fight a lot of things in this area. Okay, there we go. Now, weirdly enough, those last two haven't dropped. There we go. Sometimes if you don't come far enough up the ramp, they just don't go. Right, so we have a number of places we can go. I do also think this looks super cool. This above area with the rope bridge, we can't reach that. We're not able to jump to it from here. That is another example of somewhere we will be in the next level, which also means we can drop down to this whole little area here as well in the next level, which I just think is really cool. I just think it's neat. There's, again, not part of the critical path, but there is a pickup up here, which is quite easy to miss. But I do kind of feel like it's a really obvious ladder for just some grenades. But I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. We'll take it and we will move on. So where we actually need to go is through that hole in the wall there. It's a little tricky, I will admit. You can't jump to it from the bottom, so you kind of have to take this weird angled jump. But it's perfectly doable, just can be a little challenging. We're going to have some more friends join us here now. So there are 6 leopards that will attack us in this area. We're going to bait them 2 at a time. So there's 2. If you come out to about here, maybe the next one, there's the other 2. You just want to make sure you're not going near the opening of that cave until you have all 4 of those taken care of. And once you kind of enter into the cave here, they will come at you. But again, no problem, taken care of, easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's just about knowing where it triggers them. Because if you kind of run around blindly trying to dodge, you will probably end up triggering some more. So you just need to kind of keep an eye on it. Anyway, up and over here we have this little water area. And in here we are going to get our second Tibetan mask. This one is not going to trigger anything, but you can see that there is an item pickup under here. That is the ice that we were walking on just above. And that is a critical item that we will need to finish the next level. Yes, we are going to be revisiting this area as well. And I just think it's really cool. Like, some people will talk about how, oh, it's lazy developers and they're just reusing assets. I totally forgot about these guys. I really hate the guys that do that. Do you know that? Like, they just spray. They just spray. There we go. Right, we'll rummage through their pockets, get some pickups. I did completely forget about them, I'm going to be honest. So this is the ice we were looking at, and if we actually look straight down, we can see the item we could see from in the water. So obviously we will be revisiting this zone. Now, we are now going to go the opposite side. And around here, you may have noticed it, you may not have noticed it. This is where the second Tibetan mask goes. And in here, we have this very dark room and a lot of scary noises. And it is very dark. So this is kind of one of the few places in the game where you kind of need to light a flare. Don't worry about the noises. It is the Yetis, but they are behind bars. They're just going to make a whole lot of noise. This is also an opportunity to kind of look at them up close. There's 4 of them. They do look quite evil. What do they look like in the old one? Not too different, to be honest. They've done well there. But anyways, we don't need to deal with them just yet. They will become a problem as soon as I flick this switch. So this is a point where I saved the game. Because having 4 Yetis running at you is not an ideal scenario to be in. But we gotta do it. As soon as that happens, so that's gonna release them. You can see them down there. You can hear them running at us, but I am going to immediately get out. And the reason for that is it's much easier to fight them in the open when you have space. Three. And I think the 4th one may have gotten a little stuck. He's running around alright. I'm just not sure where. He's coming out. Here we go. There we go. All 4 taken care of. Now, next thing up is in each of their cages, there's a lot of pickups. We're just going to nip in and get those. But also an interesting thing that I only realized recently. There are 5 of those Yetis in this level. We have fought all 5 of them now. All of them were caged. All of them were behind bars. And I don't know, A, how they survived just being left behind those bars with no way of eating anything. Maybe there was more of them and they resorted to eating each other. Maybe that's the implication here. Because these cages are huge for 2. But regardless, I just think it's an interesting implication that all of the Yetis in this level were detained. Anyway, moving on from that depressing thought, we need to come in here and pull this switch. What does this switch do? It opens a door. Yep, you may recognize that hole. It's where we went through earlier. The problem with that is that that closes the gates, so we cannot get back out. So what we actually have to do is open them up, which is going to shut that door. And you may or may not have noticed it, but there is in fact a pushable block right here. And I'm not going to lie to you, when I first played this game as a young child, I did not think this would work. This did not occur to me to be the natural way of solving this puzzle. But basically, the answer is just put a block under the gate and don't worry about it. Like, it will hold the gate up. Clever, I must say. But I guess in a game where you can kind of clip through textures, you don't really think that that's going to hold the gate up. But it does. Doesn't matter which gate you put it under. They're all one mechanism apparently, so stopping one coming down stops all of them coming down. Like so. So that is how we solve that mystery. So we're going to make a beeline straight for that door. And we're going to have some more friends to deal with. I didn't forget about these ones. Yeah, I knew there was a third one. There's... I think it's 3. I think it's 3. And the last one. So all 3 drop pickups. There's there's not a huge amount of oh no. No, 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 no. Don't do this to me. Don't be that guy. This may be devastating. Come on, Lara, you can pick that up. So this is a perfect example of textures and physics being a pain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reload and do all this again in a way that I can get this pickup. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, and we're back. I realize I haven't got quite as far as I said I was going to. We haven't gone out and fought those bad guys, but I almost forgot. I ran right by it, but in this rightmost on the way out, leftmost on the way in, there is a pickup that I actually forgot the first time, and just caught a glimpse of when I was coming through this area the second time. So I just wanted to make a point of pointing that out. Now, let's do this in a way where they don't die on really awkward spots. There we go. If you would be so kind as to not kill me, please. There we go. All sorted. Much better. Right, that's all three of those taken care of. So, you can probably see up top there that the door that was there is now open. We just opened it from inside where those Yetis were. That is the way we are going to go. You can see another boulder avalanche there. As soon as we hit here, just dip into the left. It'll roll right on by. There is only one of them, so once it's gone, you can continue on. Where are we now? We're actually right above where we got the second Tibetan mask. That's the cave that we came through with the leopards and the guys. We're above it. I do like it when levels play with verticality. I think it's a really neat idea. So we're going to jump over to here. It's not too difficult to jump. Just remember to grab. It is a ladder. And we go all the way up the top. I think there may be an enemy here. No. We go all the way up the top just to drop right back down. We're gonna avoid the fish who will try to kill us. They don't really do a whole lot of damage. They're really weak as well. There is 3 of them. Did we get all 3? No, that's 2. Ah, there's the 3rd one. I don't think he's dead, but he's far away enough that he's not a problem. He'll probably come back around in a minute. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Right. So when you're here, this ledge is a trap. Do not step on it. There's loads of spikes. They'll drop on you. It's very easy to just get up there and die immediately. There's nothing up there. There's no reason to get on that. It's a nothing but a death machine. Where we actually want to go is to here. And this is where we're going to get our second secret. It's kind of trickily hidden, I must say. There's a ladder here. Kind of, you wouldn't think it, because it's just another part of the rocky roof. But if you actually turn around, which is something that a lot of people don't do, you can jump up and grab it. Might take you a few tries. You kind of need to be right on the edge of that block, and it's very easy to just accidentally walk down the step. But yeah, ladder up here. This is a little tricky. You have to go high enough that you'll make this jump, but not too high that you'll hit the roof and fall short. So I tend to go about this level. Take a jump back, and you'll land just far enough that you'll clear the slope. And this is where we get our second secret. Once you got it, slide back down. You don't need to jump. You can just grab, and Lara will grab it on her way past. Once you've got that, just fire on. Oops. That was going to be a majestic swan dive until I hit the wall. Anyway, so here we have these big doors that we are going to open very soon. Again, once you turn around, you'll see the ladder. And there's no reason to turn around for the ladder for the secret unless you know it's there. This one, you kind of get to the door, you turn around, you notice it. It's kind of put there very intentionally for you to see. But there's no reason for you to go from here back. You know, you see this, you go, oh, that must be the way I have to go. So you do. Again, you're going to jump backwards once you get nearly to the top. And you land here. And this is the switch to open those big doors. Doesn't show it to you. Oh. Why did I just die? That should not have been a big enough drop to kill me. I also think my last save was back where the Yeti room was. That's ages ago. Alright, I'll get back to here and I'll return. Okay, we are back again. We've hit the switch. We've climbed the ladder. We are going to drop back down safely this time and not die. We are about to get ambushed by a leopard. A couple of shots from the shotgun will take care of that. And then we're going to hit this big switch. It's going to open the big doors, which is great. So there's two ways to go now. You can go all the way back, which, to be honest, may be a better option because you may spot that ladder for the secret. But there is a much, much, much easier way. And that will be to basically just take a running jump off the edge here. Also, I think this is really cool. Who knows how that just stays on fire? Who knows? This is what it looked like before, which, honestly, an absolutely immense upgrade, I have to say. I think it looks so much more impressive now. But anyway, we're going to take a running jump here and land on this. Slide down and safe. So now we're going to tackle what's behind those big double doors. But before we do, we are most certainly going to hit a save, so I don't have to do all of this over again if I mess up somehow. Because this has been a bit of an unlucky run for this level. It's not normally too challenging. Now, there's a big area down here. You can see some pickups. There are some enemies. We're going to trigger them first. I don't really think we're going to be able to shoot them from here too much. Might be able to get some pot shots away. But not really too much. To be honest, even down there, it's not particularly bad. Like they've probably all gathered right below me here now, which is fine. We're almost at full health, so we are going to go for it. Yeah, there we go. 3 leopards, and the only reason you would come down here is because there is a load of pickups, and quite a load of pickups. Like there is way more down here than you would think. Like that's 5, 3 in one pack, 2 in another. That's 5 just for this one room. Quite an impressive haul. Anyway, when you hit this switch, you're going to want to immediately jump left and roll, because there is another leopard that's going to come at you from absolutely nowhere. But anyway, what this switch has done is it has opened these side doors, which for the longest time I didn't even realize these were doors. I thought they were just part of the wall. But there's There's a door on either side. Doesn't really matter when you go out of. They all come back around to the same spot. Now, back to here, we're going to get this big wide zoom because we have boulders up to the front, boulders to the left, and to the right we have this very suspicious looking thing that we can't break. The solution here is to have the boulders do the heavy lifting. There is a little bit of a, I wouldn't even call it tricky. It looks like you're going to die before you just about make it out alive, basically. These will trigger once you set foot on this slope. So what we're going to do is jump forward, jump back, and where we land, we're going to immediately side jump, and we just make it. And the reason we do that is because in order to get this, we're going to jump up, jump back, and jump to the side, and that would trigger, just being on that slope for that split second would trigger those boulders and leave you in a really compromising situation. So it's better to trigger them first. With that done, we are almost done here. This is a bit of a confusing room. You have two doors. You have, it's not really much to see, but this is just back out to where we were. We fought all the Yetis and the guys, the kind of main central area of this level. But it's nice that you can see it. These are pressure pads. So this one opens the left door, and this one opens the right door. No, sorry, this doesn't open the right door. This opens a door behind that door. But regardless, we're going to open this one for now because it's kind of the only one we can. Don't know why we're getting this music. There's nothing happening. Anyway, they're all timed. We're going to get our final secret here. It is a very sneaky one. This wall is climbable. It doesn't tell you. It doesn't even look much different. But it is, in fact, climbable. And our third and final secret is right here. And with that gotten, if that's even a word, that should be 3 secrets, 39 out of 39 pickups. That is effectively this level 100% complete. And we're going to drop down this side so we don't have to deal with the spikes. Now, I'm going to save it here for a second because I want to demonstrate something. There's a very easy way to solve this puzzle. It's probably not the way the developers intended. So I'm just going to show you. This pressure pad opens that door in the back. You don't have a lot of time. It doesn't stay open for too long. But if you try to run at this door, this right here closes. This tile right here, if you stand on it, closes that door. I think what the developers intended was for you to hit that pressure pad, this pressure pad, and then attempt to walk through the spikes in enough time to make it. But there's really not a lot of time. The only other option you would have is to try to time a jump over the spikes, which is risky as all hell. But what you just need to realize is that if you don't step on this tile right below us here, this door will not close. So if you just jump over it, the door stays open, and we're going to use that to our advantage here. So we're just going to line ourselves up, and we're going to hit this jump and then jump again before we get to that tile. And it's actually quite an easy run. It's still not a whole lot of time, but it's relatively easy. There's no fumbling with spikes. There's no trying to make awkward runs or jumps. It's just straight. A couple of jumps and you're in. I don't think that's how the developers intended it, but that's with a bit of foresight and a bit of foreknowledge, you can make it. Anyway, moving on. We're going to drop ourselves down this ladder and follow this around to finish the level. And that's it. 100% on Catacombs of the Talion. Next level is going to be Ice Palace, and we'll be revisiting some of those areas I pointed out earlier on. A neat couple of levels, and I think if memory serves, this next level is going to be the last Tibet level. I think. I'll need to double check that, but I think it's the last Tibet level. Regardless, this has been Catacombs of Talion, a nice little level, not too long, not too difficult, although I made it look a little difficult at times. But that's it. So, until the next one, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you again real soon.